Confucius, a name that echoes across centuries, spoken with reverence in the East and respect throughout the world. But who was he really? A philosopher? A teacher? A guide for humanity? To understand Confucius, we must step back more than 2,500 years into the turbulent world of ancient China. Confucius was born in the year 551 BCE in the state of Lu, a region that is now part of modern-day Shandong province. His family was poor, and his father died when he was very young, leaving his mother to raise him alone. Despite this hardship, Confucius showed an extraordinary hunger for learning. He studied poetry, history, music, and rituals with tireless dedication. What set him apart was not just the knowledge he gained, but his deep curiosity about how people could live together in harmony, how society could rise above chaos and find order. This was no simple question. At the time, China was in what is known as the Spring and Autumn period. Countless states were at war, rulers fought for power, and corruption ran deep. Ordinary people suffered under heavy taxes and constant conflict. Confucius observed this with a thoughtful eye. He believed that disorder in society began with disorder in the human heart. If individuals could live with virtue, respect, and compassion, then families, communities, and even entire kingdoms could flourish. What, then, was his answer? Confucius did not claim to bring new revelations or divine laws. Instead, he turned to the wisdom of the past, to ancient traditions, music, and rituals, and gave them fresh life. He taught about Ren, often translated as humaneness or benevolence. To live with Ren meant to treat others as you would wish to be treated, to extend kindness not only to friends, but also to strangers. He emphasized Li, ritual and proper conduct. To Confucius, rituals were not empty gestures. They were daily practices that reminded people of respect, duty, and gratitude. And then there was the concept of the Junzi, the gentleman, or the noble person. For Confucius, nobility was not about wealth or birth. It was about character. A Junzi was someone who acted with integrity, humility, and fairness. Confucius never became a wealthy ruler or a powerful general. His influence came from something greater, his words and his teaching. He gathered around him a group of devoted students. Rather than lecture endlessly, he engaged them in conversation, asking questions, encouraging reflection. His classroom was not limited to a building. It was wherever he walked, ate, or traveled. One of his most famous teachings came when he was asked about government. He replied, "To govern is to correct. If you set an example by being correct, who would dare to remain incorrect?" Through simple, clear guidance, Confucius instilled in his students the importance of morality over ambition, wisdom over power. Confucius longed to put his ideas into practice at a government level. He served in minor positions and advised rulers, but many leaders found his vision of moral governance too demanding. They preferred strategies of force, not virtue. Frustrated but never defeated, Confucius spent years traveling from state to state, sharing his wisdom. Wherever he went, he left behind seeds of thought that would later grow into one of the most influential philosophies in history. When he died in 479 BCE, he may not have realized the vast legacy he was leaving behind. His disciples compiled his teachings into a collection called the Analects, a book that has guided emperors, scholars, and ordinary people for over 2 millennia. Even now, Confucius remains the great teacher. His vision of society built on respect, kindness, and responsibility continues to resonate. From family relationships to political ideals, his influence can be felt across Asia and beyond. Consider this. His teachings helped shape the foundation of Chinese civilization for centuries. They influenced Korea, Japan, and Vietnam. And today, many of his sayings, such as "do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself," remain as relevant as ever in our modern, fast-paced world. So who was Confucius? He was not a king, not a conqueror, not a man of wealth. He was something far greater, a guide who showed humanity that true strength lies in virtue, that true harmony begins with kindness, and that true wisdom is found not in conquering others, but in mastering oneself. More than 2,000 years later, we still call him what his students once did, the great teacher.